Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grin N Grow podcast, man. This is a new one.
G&G.
G&G, baby.
G&G, baby.
You know?
And we've got a major guest in the building. Soul Marley in the building.
Yeah.
Marley.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here, guys. Thank you.
Welcome, brother,
man.
welcome.
Good.
What's happening?
Let's go.
How's
let's
everyone's
go,
day?
man.
How's everyone's day?
Winter is here, bro. Cold as fuck.
It's extremely cold. It's crazy.
It's warming up, though.
But I mean, it's been good. It's been good so far. Like, personally, like the whole week, just trying to grind and, make
Yeah,
things be as positive as can be, you understand? Because, hey, sometimes a lot of things just weigh you out and you're like down and out. I saw a post the other day. It said something that always reminded yourself about the time when it was just yourself you got, like that is just you, like you don't have anyone else to call to assist, to help. Like you just got yourself to get out of whatever hole or depth you're in. So basically it's like saying just trying to find a motivation or some kind of reason to keep going. You understand? I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but is that a good mindset to have? Like, it's true. You're always alone in a way. No one will wake up and think about, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay someone's bill.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you should have a good circle around you that if something goes like wrong, you should have
got you.
someone like back you up.
Back you up. Yeah.
So I think it's like a balance of, yes, you are alone, but you also have your homies or your family or whoever's
True.
behind you.
Yeah, it brings us to the point where no one is an island,
Yeah.
To have people.
Like that
You
movie.
can't do it alone. You always have to have people who, though it's they're rare to find, but when you find good people and you have them in your corner, it's important to remind yourself of how important it is to have somebody who's real around you.
But so how does that also like, let's say those people that you have around you, that community that you've built around you, what if let's say they're also overwhelmed with like things happening in their lives personally, and you can actually go to them for support. You can go to them for that emotional or mental support that you seek. Like, I think because I'm just trying to make sense of what he said here. So what happens in that situation then? Because I'm trying to make it make sense when you say all you got is yourself. Not in a selfish way, but to say when your community or your village, your tribe is also like maybe occupied with what's going on in their lives. Like we individually have things that we have to pursue. Like how does that also like how do you then deal with that situation, or how does that I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but yeah.
I think that the lonely part about a man's life is when you, after a day's walk, when you lay in your bed, you get the chance to reflect. If you have a partner, good. You might not get to spend the time alone, but I'm sure you find yourself in that corner where you tend to reflect as a person on your own. So I think when you speak about the village, the people around you, it would only mean when you associate with them, or when there's an event, or when you need them. As much as they might be busy with their own lives, I'm sure if you have a level of value to another person, they would always make time to speak to you when you reach out. So I think reflecting as a person is generally something that happens when you find yourself alone, either at home or when you're about to go to bed, or just a certain point when you find yourself feeling when you're alone in your own space. So, but having people around you, the village, the tribe, the people you connect with, I think if they're the real ones, they would always avail themselves when the need arise, because you're not always going to need the next person all the time. It's always a matter of showing up. I think friendship is tested when there's shit to be done. When there's an event, when there's a situation, that's when you understand how real of friendship you have with the next person is. Friendship gets tested all the time. That's when you find the value in the next person and say, okay, well, this person has got my back. This person is a real friend. So I guess that's how it works, because literally everyone goes through their own problems, goes through their own things. Some find it easy speaking to others to feel better, some don't. Some just do well by just keeping it to themselves and figuring it out. But I think it all boils down to when the need arises. Who are the ones that stands with you when you need them? I think that's how that's how it works.
But also, everyone supports each other differently.
Yeah.
So,
That's correct.
and also every relationship get tested, not only in friendship,
Yeah, of course.
in business, in your love
Yeah,
and all
most
that.
definitely.
But I think it's a balance. Like I could be busy with my thing in the afternoon, but maybe in the evening I'll be thinking, oh, I wonder how Slow is doing. And then I would just send him maybe a funny message just to see, and then maybe Slow just
Check
reply, check in.
Yeah.
I think just a balance, but also knowing each other's support language. The way you support me will be different to how Pascal will support me. So
Right,
yeah.
right. So I feel like in general, there's no need or it's not healthy like trying to go through it alone. If you have a partner, you can have that conversation with your partner. If you have a close friend, you can have that conversation and just share. Rather than just going through it alone and stuff, right?
And also knowing when to share.
Right,
With
right.
who?
Absolutely, yeah.
With who
Who
to
to
share.
That's where what I was trying to
Come in.
come in, or what I was trying to give light on. It's like, how do you do it without over putting so much
Overwhelming the
burden
other person.
on your friend? Because at the same time, you must also worry about the friendship that you have, because like I said, everybody has what they're going through in their
Yeah,
lives,
process, yeah.
and it's almost like, yeah, there's times where you're dealing with stuff. You really want to share it with your friends. You want to relate to them, but you also see that, okay, oh, maybe my friend is planning a wedding right now. Is this even the right time to even,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
But
that's
also, people shouldn't be afraid to ask.
Absolutely.
Like I can ask, hey, Slow, can we talk right now?
Right.
And you
Yeah, of
respect
course.
each other.
Yeah.
If he said no, then you're like,
That's
okay,
It's okay.
yeah,
understandable.
it's
But,
Yeah.
okay.
just put it out there,
Yeah,
right?
just put it out
No,
there.
makes sense, makes sense.
But we
That's
always
understandable.
always assuming.
Hey, got things going on. You got this. You're right.
communication.
Okay, on a lighter note, Soul Marley, welcome, welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you, thank you.
welcome,
Yes, sir.
welcome, man.
Yes,
Soul
sir.
Marley in the building, Let's
Yeah.
talk about something fresh, something light, something fun, man.
Something fun.
Yeah,
Talk
of
about
course.
music,
Oh yeah.
the culture, man. How there's something interesting I wanted to ask, like music. Now, yes, you say you record it in the studio and you put it out there and all. But however, music also involves like, the style. Your clothing, your outfit, your outlook, your persona. No, it's not just about recording in the studio. So, I want you to tell us how the whole thing fits for you. Like, what is your style? Like, how everything motivates you to put out the beautiful music you give us.
To be honest, I think I like. Let's just say this way: there's people that are musicians.
Right.
In my opinion, there's musicians, and then there's artists.
Nice.
So I feel like it's more like once you understand where you fit in, then it's almost like everything else comes together. So for me, I describe myself as an artist in the sense that everything sort of has a role. So how I'm dressed right now says a lot about who I am. The music that I put out, the lyrics, the way that I want my art to be perceived. So this is all what makes it like Soul Marley as a person, as an artist,
Yeah.
as opposed to being a musician where it's just more like, I just go to the studio and then I just record and I just sing. So it's been a great journey for me because there's always something new to learn. For
Right.
example, I'm recording right now an acoustic project. So all the songs are like purely just guitar sound, nothing much really, then maybe a saxophone instrument to give it more soul. But I learned a lot from this experience because I've never really done acoustic songs like that. But I realized that when you do such type of sounds, your vocals become more present. So it's giving me more of a sense of wanting to actually sing more as
Right.
opposed to just hopping on a beat that's already made. So that it's almost like every single move you make or everything that comes out of every experience
Experience.
that and that's what makes it collectively into the artist.
Nice. So every day is like a journey. You're learning on the job.
Yes, the process.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
nice process, man.
The
That's nice,
process.
man. And this new music is coming out when? When are we
Um,
getting it?
soon. I mean, like we're in April now, so I'm thinking to drop anything from after May.
May.
Yes.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Beautiful,
good.
man. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I know we brought you to our Grin N Grow
Oh, thank you
podcast
very
today,
much.
and
You're
you know
welcome.
the whole setup of our podcast is just like so when you say Grin and Grow, it's basically saying no matter what life throws at you, you stay positive and keep growing. You know, time is is
Smart,
is
true
is
it.
older than all of us. You know, time is gonna outlive all of us. So, but
That's correct.
the time we have on earth, we should just always be positive and keep growing. You know, and I think it relates to what you just said about even your project, like you're learning on the job, you know, you keep going and you know you're growing into it. And I
Yeah.
mean, beautiful
As long
artists,
as you
man.
have life, you know, you
Yeah.
make it a task to learn as you go by. You know, you
Yeah.
get better at what you do by with experience. You know, the more experience you gain, the better you get at what you do.
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
yeah,
Because it's for like, I mean, right now, I'm just enjoying being an artist.
Right.
Like like when I started, it was more like trying to, see how I can really fit in.
Fit.
But now it's more like I don't really want to even fit in anymore. It's a
just
thing
want to be
of
your own
my
person.
experience. I'm trying to equate my music and my experience. I'm trying to equate them together and see how, that can sort of like touch someone's life. Or when someone hears it, they can hear the reality in the lyrics, the
Right.
reality in the vocals and everything. So it's a journey for me.
For
It's a
you.
process, and I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, it's been great.
Nice, man. You know, I wanted to ask something, and I just want to hear from your own point of view. Like, what is your idea of like collaboration? What does it take for you to want to? You say, okay, no, this person aligns with my
Yeah.
ideas, my goals, you know, my vision, and what does it take for you to want to collaborate with someone?
Okay, I think for me, it's how I feel.
Right.
Like, so when I listen to music, the first thing like that comes to mind is how does this music make me feel?
Feel,
So
yeah.
if I want to collaborate with a person, I don't necessarily care about how they look.
Right.
It's how what when I listen to their music, what feeling did I get from that music? And let's say I want to put out a song that's introspective. Who is the right person for this song?
Okay.
This person, I know I've been in a studio with them before. They have that. When I listen to their music, it makes me feel a certain way. And then, that's it. I go with the feeling as opposed to, like the popularity or, image or, I mean, sometimes image is important because, I mean, I portray myself the way I want to be
Perceived,
perceived
seen.
Right.
or seen. Oh, yeah, correct. So yeah, I also kind of like always want to make sure that that is also in tune with my, my reality, in
Reality
tune with
and
what
stuff.
my values and
Yeah, your
stuff.
values and stuff,
But
man.
that's life, eh? Like
Yeah.
when you meet someone new or whatever, or it's just about the feeling. If the
That's
feeling
true.
is good, you can be friends or you can work
Yeah.
together. If not,
It's all in the
then
feelings, you know. Sometimes just that connection, that
Connection, right?
the people you meet right away, you guys just click, you know. Just and I think you make more magic when you connect with a person on and in the phase where you feel that connection. You know, it's easier to make magic with a person when you collaborate with the person that you connect with. It is.
so if you're in a business deal, will you choose money over the relationship and the magic, or will you take less money but choose that relationship and hope that you will make magic? If you get what I mean.
Okay.
In
Okay. I
business,
get what
that's
you.
in business that's tricky, bro. Because I think sometimes when you make money the focus of a business, it doesn't last very long. But when you try to create magic, then long term there's longevity in the business that you're about to create. And when you're trying to start a business, don't make your end goal the money, because if you make the end goal the money, it won't go very far. But when you create a business that the service delivery is everything, you'd make the money in the process while making sure you're servicing the people that your customers, your clients, or whoever they are. You know.
Oh no, but I feel like relationship is everything,
So,
bro. Relationship and everything
Yeah.
is everything. To me, I'm one person that believe in collaboration too. You know, you can't do things
Money,
alone and stuff.
money. As much as they would always say,
Relationship is
yeah, money,
everything.
money shouldn't be everything. Money is important. You know, understanding the dynamics of money is very, very important. But like he said, you know, relationships, a lot better. Money's not everything. Dependent. I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want any people to say, "Oh, I said money is not everything." No, money is literally. It runs the world, runs our
No, it's
lives,
very
runs a lot of
important.
things. But sometimes a relationship is better than money. I think I go by how the Tate brothers how connected they are. Their circle, the entire circle. It's not even about money. With everything they're going through, you see how connected they are. You see the relationship that they built. Imagine when I think Tristan said they wanted to let him go, and he was like, "He's not going anywhere unless he's going with his brother." That's a relationship. No, let's not even say brothers, because I'm sure they have other guys who are friends on their team who they're very confident in, that would literally do anything for them. So I think those kind of relationships are what we lack today in most um, circle, in most in our world today, where you find people just it's easy to backstab the next person. Not
So
think
easy,
about the
yeah.
long term relationship that you can build out of just creating that relationship that you're confident that even if you're not looking, this person has my back. It's a beautiful thing to see when people have that. Because it's it's so easy to destroy something, but what connects you to a person, when you protect that relationship, it's everything. It's everything that you can admire. You know.
But I think money is important to a certain point.
Point, yeah.
Once like your basic is taken care of,
And
then
I
relationship and
also
everything comes
I
in.
also think that, so even with the relationship, like for me, what I've learned over the years as I've grown, and just my opinion or my take on this is also the values are very important, because sometimes when a person doesn't have the right values, when the money starts coming in, that sort of like plays a major role and can actually destroy what took a long time to build. So I feel like it's also based on those grassroots values, those, what is the reason why we got into this? What is this person about? What is the reason why they're trying to do this? Like, what are their values in life, family values, all those different things. Sometimes I feel like it's also very important to take note of when you're going into business with a person, because let's say a person doesn't really care or doesn't really have the same values that you have, and then tomorrow you have a company that you're running together and they feel like, you know what, I want to be the star of the show, and they go out there and they sort of like paint a different picture, or from just their reputation, they don't care about how their reputation gets, how they seen publicly or how they perceived. And let's say you have a collective goal, it's also like something that I feel like is very important to always take note of the values.
Yeah.
And how long does it take for you to actually know someone's value?
That's an interesting question,
Eh?
right? It's
How
an
long it
interesting
takes?
question.
I guess, well, sometimes maybe depends
It's
on.
it's it's never it's never really
Yeah.
a time frame, because remember they say people change, right? Now let's take, for instance, give this the let's use an example of a new business. Then the money starts coming in, and then you begin to see the changes. Oh yeah, you get in your feelings, you get in your head. Oh no, this is like a lot of money, and then you begin to react a certain way. You begin to realize that the next person has literally this character is being revealed because of the amount of money that's coming in. So it tends to happen all the time. I think you learn about people every day. It's not just in friendship, in partners. You realize that, oh, there's this phase, there's that phase of this person's life, there's this changes. So I think it's a constant thing that happens. We're constantly evolving as human beings.
So
So
relationship constantly changing then.
pretty much, it's like no one saying you can't get to know someone in a day. You can't get to know someone in 1 year, in 2 years. It's not possible. I think the more you spend time with the person, you get to know more about them. You can know them to a certain point. We used an instance with the whole money thing. Let's say humble beginnings started from the
from the
from the
bottom.
bottom, and then you get to the top, and then you get in your feelings.
You know what? I saw something interesting the other day. Someone was saying something about compassion, being compassionate and empathy. You know, I found that interesting because the way he explained it, he was saying that compassion is the motivation that makes you want to do something about a problem or situation that someone tells you about. However, empathy is when you're just observing what someone else tells you, like you're just taking all the burden in, you're just taking everybody's burden, like a therapist, basically, right?
You can feel.
You're just feeling and receiving all those information or whatever struggles or things people are saying, and you just receive it, you listen more. That's the empathy. But compassion is when like you listen to when you want to
You want to fix the
fix the problem or something,
make it better.
But however, in every relationship, I feel like there's always a fine line between those two. Sometimes someone just wants you to listen to them.
That's correct.
Sometimes there's a situation where they tell you something and you want to do something about it. So I'm like, where would you rather be? Where would you rather stay on? You understand what I'm saying? Because as a guy, okay, let's even talk about like relationship with a lady, like your partner, your wife and things. A lot of the time, I feel like a lady wants empathy more than you trying to fix the problem.
No, I don't know. No, I
don't
think I
feel
think
so?
I disagree. I think they want compassion more
Oh,
than
okay.
they want you to fix everything. As much as they want you to listen to them, right? As much as they want you to always listen. Look, I guess we'll never be able to understand women, right? But why I'm standing, why
Yeah,
I'm,
you
why,
see
why I'm
how
saying
you
this,
trick
it's
it.
tricky.
You see
No,
how
no,
it
no.
is.
Let me tell you. It's just like saying you sit with a woman, yeah, and she's like, "Oh, this." She's telling you all the problems, yeah, and then you don't say anything. The next thing she's like, "Why are you not saying anything?" It's a problem. It becomes a problem. And
Right.
it becomes, why are you not saying anything? You should say, they want to hear you say something. They want you to fix that problem, bro. As much as they want to hear you, they want you to listen to them. Listening to them, it's different phases, right? They want you to listen. After you listen, and they want you to fix it. They want you to have you need to have an input in what they've just said. Because if you don't, that's
But
the
an
problem too.
input can also be empathy.
Yeah, I guess so. But remember, you're listening.
Yeah.
You're observing it all.
Yeah.
You're not fixing it.
Okay. What do you
I
think?
think it depends on how much you lead in the relationship as a man, as a leader.
Yeah.
Because if the woman or the wife is leading in the relationship, she might just want you to listen.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're a proper man and you are taking charge of the relationship,
You
she
fix
might
the problems,
yeah,
bro.
she
Yeah,
might want you
you
to
fix
fix
the
it. So
problems.
I guess it depends on who is actually playing the leading role in the relationship.
I think.
I don't fully 100% there with it.
But
I feel you.
that's what I'm saying.
You want to
That's
say
what I'm
something?
saying. Look, there's no two ways about this. I'm sure that every woman literally wants you. Look, sometimes women even tell you things, right? They tell you things, and they're telling you, and they want to see what reaction they get out of you. When you don't react, it drives them insane.
So I think that's also for me. I think it depends on the context of what the topic is about. For example, I feel a lot of times women, I feel like they really want you to listen, not necessarily about action. It's listening. So listening could be undivided attention. So they could be telling you something right now. They really want you to look them in the eyes and like I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Half the time they don't
That's why
really
we-
want
we
you
wear
to
shades.
Yeah, that's
they
what
don't
it
really
is.
want you to do like it's not like they really want you. This is my opinion.
Right.
It's not like I think it's not like they always want you to do something about it
Right.
away. They want you to give them an undivided attention. And sometimes you could even say, after everything, you could say, I don't really know what this is. And they will still feel more content just because of the fact that you listened.
Yeah.
And then as opposed to when they come to you like, you know what, I don't know what to do about this. My family, I feel overwhelmed from ABC. Then you know like, okay, you know what, baby, you need to take it easy. Let us deal with this way. So I think it's the
The
context.
context
Yeah, you're
matter.
kinda right
Yeah,
about that,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree with this perspective because I feel like both ways, compassion, empathy, it goes hand in hand. I don't think it's about more of being a leader in a relationship.
What have you been accused
than
of not
thing.
having?
I think
In terms of the both of them, what have you been accused of not having?
of not having is empathy.
Okay.
Personally, my own relationship is empathy. I have not had more of. In terms of because I'm always quick to want
What
to fix
about you?
everything.
it.
What about you?
For me, I feel like Yeah, I cannot, like I said, I cannot say exactly which
What have you been
one it
accused of
is,
not
but what
having?
have I
Yeah.
been accused of not having?
What is the balance? If you want to
Okay,
put it on
well,
percentage.
percentage. A lot of times it's empathy because I feel like as a man, we are built to have this. There is a certain way we approach situations, you know. It's not all the time we want to approach a situation emotionally because we just feel like, you know what, this is what has to be done. Let's get it over with.
Logical way.
Logical.
Yeah.
So most of the time, I feel like it's the empathy. That's what I've.
Toby, what about you?
Same.
Same
Empathy.
What up to
Yeah.
empathy.
you?
I've,
Why is it weird that everyone is empathy and for me then it's compassion? It's like I have no compassion. It's like yeah, you have no compassion to situations, and I'm like it's not about not having compassion, you know. And look, I don't know, but I feel I'm a very compassionate person. It doesn't matter what the situation
And now they
is.
say you don't have
But they tell I get told all the
They
time
don't know
that
you that well, I guess.
I have no
I
compassion.
mean, like, so let me put it this way, right? From also some, like, from a, in a different way, also. So it's almost like the empathy that I had to learn, like, you know, for example, if your, let's say your partner is emotional about something or whatever.
Right.
So empathy sometimes, or that compassion, because I don't know, compassion and empathy is not the same thing, but it's almost like sort of like in the same direction, right?
Right.
They sort of like go hand
It
in
could
hand.
walk hand in hand.
So
you know?
it's
Yeah,
almost
it
like
could.
she's crying. She expects you to sort of like put your hands over her,
Bro.
do that.
good stuff.
So half the time, we could just sit there and be like, I'm sorry, baby, don't take it easy. And what she just really needs is emotional
Emotional,
support.
the hand.
Like the
Yeah,
hands on the.
hugs,
We're not quick to
hugger,
that
yeah.
move.
So those are like,
Ah,
Bro, I think look,
but wait,
look,
that's a skill
bro,
though.
it's a
Isn't it?
skill.
It's a skill.
Look, it's a freaking
and just
skill.
doing that,
It's
'cause,
not
I mean,
natural.
Bro,
even
it's
you,
a
even
skill.
you as a
You know,
guy,
look,
it's just like when you hug
this brings
someone,
then-
you tell them it's gonna be okay. They
comes-
instantly.
This
They
comes
feel
from
good.
this comes from what family values, how you were raised, what you saw growing up, what you feel, what you saw
That's true.
to be the norm.
skill.
You know, look, bro.
the skill.
Every day we realize that we learn a lot of things. A lot of things that are new to us that we have to keep learning every day, learning how to
Correct.
be with a partner and whatever the case is. Look, I never saw my father say, "Oh yeah." Pick up my mom and like these are the things that you know
Public
like
display
you know
of
public
affection.
display of affection
Affection.
was tough, bro. We never really saw those things. You know, it's just
That's
like
true.
saying in a normal Nigerian home, you don't find where your dad walks up to your mom in the kitchen and gives her kisses all over.
That's
But
correct.
that's a new thing for us. That's we're the ones who are doing it, not our parents. Our parents didn't do that. So when we adjust to those things, now we're just, bro. Some of us was raised hardcore.
But there's
Raised
nothing wrong
hardcore,
with
bro.
that, though.
Absolutely nothing
No,
wrong.
there's nothing wrong with
There's nothing
that.
wrong
I
with
think
it.
that's the reason why we're in this room.
Learn every
Yes.
day, you know.
And also I feel like even growing up that way, it gave us the understanding of how it feels to do the opposite of that. You understand, you know. And you know, sometimes you can even be shy to actually do some public display of affection. But when you actually get into it, it feels good. Your partner also enjoys it and all. But what I wanted to go back to is what you said, that that's a skill because it doesn't come like second nature, you understand? Yeah, man, you know, I feel like in general, your relationship with your partners, like, you know, female perspective is a very interesting one. It's something that we learn every other day, every other day, every other. Like, there's something interesting too that my lady told me one time. She was like, you know, when there's no, say there's no monies, what can you do to, you know, show love to me? Can you do to show your love for me, like without any financial, you know, going to a fine dining or buying a gift or something? Aside money, what can you do to show love to me? And my response was, okay, what do you want? I'll do it for you. Now, but now the trick of those things is something as easy as you know, maybe setting up a bubble bath for her in the tub, you know, making food, a quick food, or she want to smoke a shisha or something, you know, set it up, you know, oh, it's cold, you know, get her socks, you know, or watch her favorite show with her and things like that. But I know there's more than that. If you ask a lady this question, she can give you 100 answers.
Trust me, bro.
But you see me now, I'm just beating around the bush. You understand? But you know, let me hear you guys'
No,
point of
for,
view.
for
on
them,
that.
it's like the smallest things, bro. Like you just said, if she's feeling cold, get her socks. The smallest things, bro.
But I feel like they want you to treat them like a little girl sometimes.
Most
You get what I
definitely,
mean?
bro. They want you to do those things are what they demand of you. You know,
Well, let us itemize those
it's
things, man. What are
no,
those
and
things
that's the
actually?
problem because at the end of the day now, yeah, it's I don't know if you've ever been put in this spot where you're asked what are the things you love about me, you know, and then as a guy you're just looking at like trying to think about all the things that you love about the person that you're with. You know, look, I think for men, not a lot of us are very expressive.
Right.
It's a lot easier for women to be expressive. A woman can tell you 100 reasons why she loves you, but
Right.
if you were put in that situation where you had to tell her how much you love about her, bro, man, it's it's harder to put those words together without. They could do it in seconds. You have to use maybe probably 30 minutes to an hour to compile it in your head and
And
then you
maybe
need to
add
say
chat
it, you know?
GBT to
Yeah.
it.
So no, bro. So for real,
Right.
it's I think it's a lot of things, you know, like they would always highlight the fact of opening doors, you know.
Yeah, opening doors. Yeah,
Those
that's a
those little things like
yeah.
that's a good one.
it's
That's a
some
good
women
one.
want you to carry their bags, you know.
Be
They
like a
want
big
you to,
brother,
yeah.
Yeah,
isn't it?
a quick
No.
piece.
With the
Or
word brother, bro, and you associate the word
big
brother
Yeah,
brother.
in
you are
in a
zoning
sexual
it now.
relationship.
You're
It's
zoning it
tricky.
now. And
They want you to be their protector though, but
Yes.
not in the sense of a brother that's I don't know if
No,
they
I don't
want
mean
you.
brother as in like friend zone
Yeah,
brother, but
nah,
you
that's
get
the
what I
thing.
mean.
Friend
yeah.
zone brother,
Yeah,
that
not
shit is
that brother,
whack,
but
bro.
like a guy who can protect, who
Yeah,
can
of
lead,
course.
and who can take care of her, regardless of the
But you
money.
know, sometimes we get so caught up, you know,
Right.
as men. Um, as much as women demand these things of us, because look, I tell you, I'd speak for myself, right? Sometimes I feel I give so much of myself in terms of the things that I do, because I might not tick all the boxes. But if I wake up every day and I prioritize you and I want better for you, that's something. But like I said, sometimes we tend to just feel that's enough. But to them, sometimes it's not even enough. But in our heads, we feel we're going blood, giving blood and sweat. But still, for them, it's like you could do better. You could do so much more. And it's unfortunate though if you do have a woman who demands more of you in terms of those things, then it might become an issue if you're not patient enough to sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna walk around this, I'm gonna try to make time. Because sometimes we're caught up in chasing money. You know, you're trying to level up, you're trying to do something new, you're trying to do something great, and then you're not having that amount of time that you usually give them, most likely in the beginning of the relationship. Doesn't mean that your love has shifted or changed. It just means that you're driven to the goal that you're chasing,
Mm.
and then you're giving less time to your relationship. You know, and it also has to do with, I think it also has to do with the standards of the relationship you're in. Because if you find a workaholic woman, if you're with a woman who's a workaholic, those little things that a woman who's not a workaholic would demand and need, it'll be very, very much highlighted. You'll be able to see them. You'll be able to see the difference, you know? So
I
it's,
think that like that's also like a very great point. Like the point you made about opening doors, because I mean I feel like a lot of times, like we said, those small things, right? And the question you asked was about when, let's say, when the finances are not like up there with it at the moment. Like how do
What's your
you
way to show
way of
love?
showing? I
Yeah.
feel like it's very important what we do before the finances get into that red zone. It's more like what I've realized is it's a lot about reaffirmation and acknowledgement. So it's about how many times you tell her I love you, even before that happens. So I feel like sometimes it's those small things we take for granted about. Even if it means saying I love you every other time, even if it just means sometimes just typing a message, just a thought came across your mind, tell her the beautiful things about who she is. That way, it's these small things that could motivate them to be like, you know what, when the money is not there, because women are very patient and they are also very enduring. These are the kind of things that could sort of push them into this survival mode of like, you know what, I'm gonna carry this family at this moment. Maybe I can see you're down. What can I do? Where can I play a role? So it all boils down to how much you make them feel appreciated. Because I realize that a lot of times in the early stages of the relationship, it's almost like they're giving you, they put in dressing up nice for you. They look perfect. They're trying to make sure their hair is done. But as soon as they get in, it becomes so relaxed. And it's not like it's not our job, obviously, to tell them what to do, but it's almost like we have to make sure that they still feel beautiful every single day. And it's those
Right.
small things that would make them to, regardless of the money or whatsoever, they just, it makes them always feel beautiful, it makes them always feel acknowledged, it makes them always feel like, you know what, yeah, this is where I want to be, I'm loved here. And a lot of times that is enough for them to really like want to play that role that, you know, when the money is there, the money isn't there, they really know that, okay, no, this is where I want to be at.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to look at it. It's very,
Okay.
very
I have
nice.
a
That makes
question
sense.
though. Do you ever get overwhelmed that you want to be seen by a woman? You know, do you get to the point where you feel overwhelmed that you
You're not
need your
seeing.
woman to see you and say, "Hey, I see you. I
That's
see
a
all the
beautiful
efforts you put in. I see what
it's a
you do."
beautiful question, man.
Do you ever get to that point?
Are you asking like,
Yeah,
do you
it's a
want them?
general
You feel
question.
like, do you want them to
At a
see the
point,
effort basically?
yeah, to
To
see and appreciate the effort, just like you're saying,
Mm.
the appreciating the beauty, telling her how beautiful she is constantly.
Mm.
Do you at some point as a man want your woman to say, "Hey, look,
Give it
I
that
see you, baby.
acknowledgement and
I
things.
see you. I see all the things that you do."
Mm.
You know,
I think,
it could not just be in words. It could
mm,
be in actions. It
yes.
could be that massage. It could be rubbing your foot. It could be those things.
Mm.
You know.
I
You want to answer that?
you can
I
go
think
first.
I just got an idea about that. The idea, what I think about what you just said is that the kind of role we play as men, especially a guy that wants to be take responsibility and be accountable for things, is that a lot of the time we're always blinded to an acknowledgement from our partners because we're so caught up in trying to
Yeah.
do things, provide and all. That's why even if they even show up and try to acknowledge us and thank us or give us gift, we don't even see it.
True.
The small things they do,
You
man.
understand?
True.
That's
Yeah.
how I look at it from. And because we're so caught up in our own goal, we want to be responsible, we want to take charge of this. Every other little thing that comes around, we don't really pay attention to it. But sometimes we get so overwhelmed, like shit. I've been doing all this work, I've been putting all this hours in, getting all this thing done, and nobody's even there for me.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
You feel like that. But the truth of the matter is that all along, people have been there for you. Your partner was there for you, but we're just too caught up to actually see it. I don't know if you
I,
understand
I
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it's more like just knowing each other's love language,
Right.
how they
Exactly.
express, how you express your love, how they express your
Language.
love. But at the same time, you're right. Like we get too caught up with working or doing so many things, we get blindsided to every small details that's happening
Yeah.
around us.
Yeah, because that question is
So,
interesting.
I
Because
raised that question.
when you said it, I actually thought about it. Like I thought about it in my own personal experience. Like, you know what? There are times where I don't feel seen, but then again, I think about it that no, I'm not actually seeing that I'm being seen. You
Yeah.
understand?
yeah.
You know, the reason why I brought up that question was because,
How does
you know,
it play out for you?
as
Yeah.
no, I brought up that question because we're too busy, we get caught up, we don't even see that we're being seen. So I think for me, I think I had to make peace with understanding this hardcore feeling of knowing that you're a man. You're as good as what you provide. You're as good as what you can do, and it applies to literally everyone that surrounds you. You know, in the family structure, you're a man. You have to go out there and get it. You have to make sure that you provide. You have to make sure you constantly take care of others, even though while you don't want to, you're waiting for that moment where you're praised. You know, because sometimes you might never get it, and the reason why you're not getting it is because you're not paying attention to see it. Because you don't even need it sometimes. Sometimes you don't need it. You know, subconsciously, yeah, here and there, you'd want to feel that you need to see it. But I think making peace and understanding that your duty as a man, I want to hammer on the whole manly life, you know. Your duty as a man is to go out there, you wake up every day and you take care of your family. You know, it's not just saying it's a task. It's an obligation that you take care of your family. You have no choice. You know, you have to wake up every day and you show up for your family, whether you feel sane, whether you don't feel sane. You know, it's your duty to take care of your family. I think it reminds me of a movie. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It was Denzel Washington. I think his son. I think he was saying. I think he was there was a part in the movie where he was telling his son that, do I have to tell you I love you? You know, like, do I have to tell you I love you when the things I'm doing should show you that I love you? My actions towards you
Right.
should show you I love you. You know. I think it's just it's men, we're that way, you know, and I think it shouldn't be any other way where you feel we get emotional sometimes, but I feel it's important to realize that our duty on earth is to make sure that everybody else around us is good.
Also, in that, in terms of like, them showing you how. I feel like a lot of times, also as men, we have this notion of like, okay, there's a saying that goes that to whom much is given, much
Much
is
is expected,
expected,
yeah.
right?
Right.
So we feel like we're giving them a lot. We're giving them the nice life. We're giving them all the stability and all that, right? Now that makes us feel like, okay, we expect a certain acknowledgement from them or a certain amount of love or whatever. But sometimes, are we really? Is that what we giving to them? Is that really what they want? Because I feel like that's also a very important thing to take into notice. So let's say you were giving them all this stuff, like the physical stuff, the basic daily human, what is like kind of like the
Comfortability,
lifestyle.
lifestyle
But
things.
maybe, what are we giving them also? We have to also take into consideration what are we giving them? Because this is the most important part of it. And I feel like it's a vice versa type of thing where it's like, for example, I do this personally. When I can see she's really down, I usually, like, I would buy her flowers almost every other day or two, depending on how long the ones that I got before,
Yeah.
how if they're still alive. But when I see she's very down, I take it upon myself when I go to the store to pick a certain color, a certain type of flower, just to pass that message across to say, I want you to feel, I know that you're feeling like this. This is what I want you to feel. And it's almost like doing these things and just small things of texting and like always reaffirming, even just randomly. It also sort of creates this ripple or domino effect where it's like everything else, the same thing that I'm giving sort of like comes back to me in small ways. So it's sort of like we kind of also need to set the tone. Because when we don't, and we feel like we're giving them so much of all these things we're providing, sometimes that's not really
That's
what
not enough, yeah.
they want. And that makes our expectations, when we give too much, it makes us to have so much expectations. And when we don't get it, we get disappointed, as opposed to also understanding what exactly do we need to give.
But I also feel going back to be seen or not to be seen. Don't you think sometimes the lady should also make sure that the guy should see the small things they do?
That's yeah, it is enough. It
You get what
is.
I mean? Like the lady should
Yeah.
know, okay, this is important for him. I want to do it.
So he sees.
So he can, oh, not even so he sees, but
Shows
I
it.
know it's important for him. I'm just going to do it because I love him.
Yeah, of course.
And once
You
you
get
feel
what I
it, you
mean?
see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
no,
So
no,
I
no,
think
that
it's
makes
both
sense.
both
There's
ways.
small
They go
things that a
both
woman
ways.
would do, and then you just have that smile and like, yeah, she's got me.
Yeah, this
Correct.
this was
She's
this
got
was
me,
nice.
So
This
it's
person is there for me and things
Yeah.
like that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful like
Like,
that.
but
bro,
a small thing like
yeah.
respect.
Yeah,
Just respect.
Yeah.
absolutely. Even
Then
if it's
you
just
know.
respecting you in the way that you should be respected, that's being seen. That's
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
look, dude, you're leading, man. You're leading. I respect you. I love you. That's enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that we always desire as men, because it's never really been about how much you love me, but how much you respect me. Because you could love me as much as whatever and you don't respect me, then that's a problem. Because
Correct.
what I demand from you is that you respect me as a partner, you respect me as a man. And it's and I think expectations is something that I've I've begun to give up when it comes to others, because I think I can only expect more from myself and
Yeah.
not from what others could do. Because I
Yeah.
feel the more expectation you have on the next person, they're only human. But men, women, kids, you can't have those expectations over another person. I think you're accountable for yourself. whatever expectations you demand in this world is the one you give to yourself. You know, so what the next person gives to you is who they are. You know, they can only give you so much of what they understand.
Exactly.
So they if they if you're busy waiting and hoping and expecting that the next person would show up the way you want them to show up, 90% of the time you might get disappointed. So it's better to just live a life where the only expectation you have is of yourself. And then you let the rest, the people who are around you, just lead as they want to. You know?
So I have a question. What is respect to you from your woman? Or what do you
asked me that
expect?
question one time. Dobby asked me that question one time.
Yeah, guys.
So what is respect?
I wanna hear from them first before
what do
I
you
say
want?
what
So Marley, let's start with So Marley.
Do you want them to like be on their knee when you come back home, or like what is respect to you?
That's a nice question. I think for me, respect is I think is basically, knowing my needs, right? When I mean my needs, we wake up in the morning, we have a conversation. Okay, you know that the day before, I have A, B, and C going on. Little thing like, okay, I tell you, okay, I would like to wake up at this time, or maybe set an alarm for me, or say I wouldn't mind if you make me breakfast or something. And while I'm away, we just check on each other and know what's happening. Just little things like that. It's not about kneeling down or anything like that. It's just basically understanding that okay, we are more or less equal, you know. Things like that. I don't think there's anything too masculine or too deep like that. Nah, I'm not in that
To use
zone.
that word.
I'm not trying to get a housekeeper or something. I want a partner. You understand?
Before you answer that question, so how would you take it if suddenly you open the door and your girl is on the knee saying "Welcome back"? What do you do?
I'll probably close the door first and go back. I'm like, who's that?
Okay.
Nah, I wouldn't go with that.
wanna-
Nah. For me, I feel like there's a certain I kind of used to see someone, especially a partner I'm with. Like I always like to see someone I'm in a relationship with as a partner, right? Like a loving partner. So the moment you start being too domesticated, I lose those kind
Affection.
of affection. I'm not as attracted anymore, and it just pushes me away. So
Okay.
if I see things like that, I'm like, no.
No.
This is not
That's
this is
too
not
much.
a job.